we pretty much
Nerds.
The other Matt. Welcome. I think it says live. Okay, it does say live. Cool. Welcome to Vlog Thursday number 410 pre-MISecCON meetup with Jason and Matt, because these are the guys I'm traveling with to go do some hacking stuff. We're going to try and own the CTF. We're here for support for Jason because I think he's the best at it.
Yeah. Like, man, you got this, bro.
We dominated last time. We went second place.
We were second place. And there were what, three of us?
Ed was partly there. He helped. I got a few flags. You got the most of the flags, but it was enough to do it. So we're going to be doing the CTF, and it's going to be fun.
We're going to win.
We're going to win. We're positive about.
I'm in it to win it this time.
Yeah, hacking conference.
No second place this time.
No second place.
We will attend exactly 0 sessions.
Exactly.
It's true.
The opening keynote, because then it starts.
Yeah. Jason's been on the channel a few times, Matt Lee. Once in a while when there's some security topics,
Sure.
I've brought you on. So good friends, and we've all done talks together and all that fun stuff. I don't have any other events. Matter of fact, all of us are, you even said this is like your last event of the year, really.
I have.
I
got sucked into one more in the 3rd through the 5th in Tampa. So
Okay.
I'm almost done. Almost done.
Matt travels a lot.
This is flight 96.
96 flights this year.
I'm almost done.
You should make that have the comments on it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's comments over there. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. I'd have to go through a lot of steps to sign in. So.
Oh, no. Can't you just mouse over there and hit comments?
Oh, derp.
There we go.
Look at this. Look at that. I'm smarter now. So I have these guys here to make me smarter. Real quick shout out to Microspender. They're doing some sponsorships. I have some more videos coming. They got a big Black Friday sale that just got kicked off. I believe Matt, the behind the scenes Matt, will throw some links in there we have for the Microcenter sale. I was there. I had some fun. I crashed a race car. You ever seen those race car simulators? Have you played the new ones?
No.
If you go stop by a Microcenter, just get in there. And it just, dude, I crashed so hard in this stupid car. It's awesome, though.
I bet you we could go. I bet you if we asked nicely, we could get UT to let us drive their Formula SAE car.
That would be cool. So that was definitely fun there. But yeah, nonetheless, thanks Microcenter for sponsoring. And that's it. That's next thing, topics and things like that we're going to talk about, which we didn't even do because you guys got here like
we got here 7-8 minutes ago,
which is fine. We usually let all of you handle topics. So this is a good time because we're only doing this for about a half hour to ask us any cybersecurity questions or any things like that, because I happen to have the cybersecurity experts here. I will have a video probably done tomorrow on the Jet KVM. We were all just poking at it over there. It is
it's heavy.
It is heavy.
It's
dense.
It's
extremely dense.
I mean, if you don't need a KVM, you could use it to kill somebody.
At distance. I mean, it's small enough to palm it.
True.
I mean,
like if you need something to go through, like if you ever need to bust a car windshield, this thing would do great. Oh yeah.
And it's got enough weird angles. No matter where you throw it, it probably catches on a corner.
Yeah, this is definitely effective.
I don't know if that's their intended consequence or what they're supposed to do with it, but
guys, this is recorded and can be used in a court of law. I'm just letting you know, real quick.
Yeah. So if any windshields get broken, it wasn't me. It was definitely Slagle.
I want to set that there because this and Matt, try to pick that up.
Okay.
How much should an ass weigh?
I mean,
about like that.
It's got drives in it.
Holy crap! Even with drives,
it's got SSDs.
Yeah. It's SSDs.
Those are SSDs.
Well, never mind. I take that back.
That's probably 25. Okay. I bet that's like
give me okay. Now I need 25? A screwdriver because the lid has to come off of it.
Yes.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, you can take the lid off.
But while we talk, I'm taking this apart.
You have ears on there that might have to come off of that lid.
I've already. I did the video and already opened it up.
That's fine.
I've already voided all the warranties. There. So this is a 7-bay NAS. And supports 2.5 has a 10 gig.
Yeah.
What do you think this costs, Matt Lee?
Less than it probably should.
I've looked at a few of these, so I don't remember, but like $1,400.
$499.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
A 7-bay, a 7-bay Synology. So you can't get a 7, right?
Yeah.
You get like a 923, which is a 5-bay.
5-bay.
And that's what, $900.
Yeah.
So even with your drives, you're all in less than that.
I just dropped the review on this yesterday, and even I'm surprised. There's people complaining about the price bill. I'm like, do you want someone to give it to you? It weighs 25 pounds.
Okay. So the way you make it cheaper, you build a YouTube channel and you get to how many subscribers do you have?
Is that the discount model?
And that's how you get a discount.
It's a great discount at that point.
Yeah. It is actually surprisingly inexpensive, but UniFi is getting in the game. What they really did was they cheated a little, and I talked about this in my review. They make a NVR Pro, so they have their camera system that is based on the same thing. It's identical chassis, it's the same processor, so they just
who cares?
Just build
I
it.
mean, that's how. I mean, Synology does the same thing. We have a what is that? The DA3221 at the office, and it's basically just a 923 that has graphics card in it.
Mm-hmm. Someone said the KVM sounded heavy when it dropped on a table. It is
It
heavy.
is heavy.
It is heavy.
Like surprisingly,
We need a scale and a banana.
And a banana.
just to compare for
Things that
banana
don't happen
numbers.
here.
This is 7 bananas. This thing weighs at least 35
At least
bananas.
35 bananas.
You could feed a gorilla for a week.
I have an onion.
Yeah,
It's a security onion.
Now, this is now a security onion on top of this. We're protected.
Well, it is a security onion.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah.
Doug sent me some stuff because I did the security onion video. And,
That's awesome.
I think there's 2 on the back.
There's a cat. A wild cat is a beer.
I have a wild cat here.
Yeah.
Yes, love, you want to come on camera? Nope. Negative. Okay, fair. Hold on. Let's see
Oh,
what's
man.
Oh, you tell me you're going.
Afternoon, Jason, Matt. Good to see you guys. Awesome.
Yeah.
What SSDs? Now, right now, I just have some consumer grade SSDs.
Okay.
There's 2 in the back. A few people have asked me about performance testing on it, and I'm like,
It's got a 10
do
gig.
you want to really race the Prius? I mean, it's not exactly.
I didn't say I won.
Hey, the Prius had a remarkable amount of. I drove a Prius for 15 years. They had a
This is
remarkable
not why I
amount
had
of ups.
anticipated this conversation
Yeah,
going. We're in 3i racing.
I mean,
racing.
like what do you expect out of a $500 unit? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm guessing it probably can saturate at 10 gig if you're
It
not
comes
doing
close.
anything crazy.
It comes close.
Yeah.
I think it'll do.
Is
about
it
half.
CFS?
No, it's Btrfs, but Linux RAID, but nice
Okay,
inside.
MD RAID.
Yeah, MD
So
RAID.
it's the same as all the other NASs that are not true NAS.
Yep, everything that's not TrueNAS, basically that. So I
Why
think
is it so heavy?
I'm guessing the power supplies?
just it's
The
made
case?
out
Yeah,
of,
I don't know,
the case is
man.
heavy.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
I'm not buying
There's
it.
lead.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They just have lead
If we
packs
keep
laying on the
taking this
bottom of
apart,
it.
we are going to find weights in it.
It is illogically heavy.
I mean, it's as heavy as like a 1U server, and it's tiny.
I'm actually enjoying their review of it better than mine now.
It's like, I think this thing's heavy.
What's this thing?
I'm guessing thermal.
Looks, maybe?
No, that's an antenna.
It looks
Oh,
like
is it?
Wi-Fi.
Oh,
yeah.
sure, it's got
for
Bluetooth.
an
It's
antenna.
got
It's
Bluetooth.
That's a
It has
Bluetooth
Bluetooth?
antenna.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure an antenna.
Single PSU. Yeah.
Are you
Big old heat sink. That's not heavy.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to like.
Hold
I want to know what's under here.
Is this like when they put weights in the doors so
Yes.
the cars feel better?
They do.
Like when you slam the door, you're like, oh, that's a good
That
door.
is a thing. There's a whole bunch of consumer electronics they put like metal in just so
Yeah.
it feels heavier, so it feels less cheap.
This KVM is made out of aluminum for that. Jeff Geerling actually
Yeah.
covered how they built it. 'cause I
Probably
sent
for
him the
heat
specs.
dissipation, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
because they cram so much
Yeah.
together in that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to dissipate the heat, but it then gives it a good solid feel.
A bottle of whiskey and shot glasses could appear, but somebody's
Be a
got to
long
drive,
drive
to
to
Lansing.
Lansing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just slides on or
Oh,
just
no,
over
no,
the
no,
top?
we're not done yet.
Yeah.
All right,
And you
let's
can
go.
leave the cover off. It's okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, what else we got? Ask us. Ubiquiti.
It's really picking up their game. First started
Yeah.
using ABNT back when they released the Air Max line. Sure. ISP
We're in
level.
Southeast Ohio. I've done bike rides down that way.
Yeah. That's a nice area. Yeah, the latest stuff, because I have the enterprise switches and I can actually share a picture of them now.
So the
I have
gauge
not
on
had a
this
chance to
metal is
test
pretty
the
big. It is pretty
NC
thick.
lag
it's
on it
definitely.
yet.
Even then, I mean, it's still.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet the bulk of the weight. Is this just a different PSU plug-in? I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably
Expansion
so,
card plans or
Ubiquiti
something?
has their proprietary redundant power stuff, and I'm pretty sure
That's what it looks like. It's got
that
thick
is.
gauge metal here.
Yeah.
So-
So copper.
They're getting into the enterprise space with some of their, like, this is their 100 gig switching that
Yep,
they have. It's
yep.
got MC lag and
I saw you had an aggregator switch you were showing off the other day
Yeah.
too. There, so that looked pretty
and these
cool.
have hot swap fans, hot swap power supplies.
They took
Yep.
all of their design inspiration from watching like NCIS or any of that. It needs like screens and extra flashy lights that you can change the colors on.
Oh, I want some ether lighting one. I've
No.
asked them. They haven't sent me that yet because you can do the lights that go
we
back.
changed
and
the
forth.
colors.
Knight
and-
Rider.
Yeah, I could do
Oh,
Night
man, if
Rider
your
on
switch
there.
is not Knight Rider. you messed
There's a
up.
couple
Yeah, you
GitHub
tried.
projects. Someone hacked it, and so they can make it do things that wasn't designed to do, which of course tickles me just to death. That I need it because
Well, so like the NECA 8300, they use a kernel module to control the LEDs on the front of it. Did you know that?
I figured they probably had something.
Yeah,
custom
there's a
like that.
GPIO kernel module that controls the front panel LEDs.
Does the UNAS Pro play nice with other true NAS systems, backing up replication and the like?
Well, no, yes.
Yeah,
It depends. That's like a
depends on-
cybersecurity answer.
It's a cybersecurity answer. The way they do the backups is kind of like the UniFi way, which reminds me of Apple. Like, we're not going to tell you how we're doing it. You just point it at a share and we'll send some files over there. So they're not using ButterFS sync. They're not using, or at least with that, it has the ability to sync to another NAS, but I only have one.
It's probably our clone.
I'm wondering if they're using our clone.
It's probably our clone.
Yeah, it's probably our clone.
I think their former backup stuff used our clone, so that tracks.
Yeah, so they're kind of it gives you the basics of back to the $499 price.
Yeah,
I think that's acceptable for $499.
But here's a great use case for this, right? So I have a nice Synology at home and a true NAS box, right? And I would love to put something somewhere else to be the backup target for my offsite backups. This is a great price point for that.
Yeah,
like if it like you would need to do some sort of, can it run like Tailscale or anything on that to connect it back to the network anyway?
Oh, well, no, it shows up in the UniFi dashboard like all the other devices. So remote management's easy.
It's more, can I remotely get my home?
Yeah.
How do I get my home?
The data there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got file sharing and all that.
Okay.
Like it's got it generates links, even generates QR codes and stuff like that. It does the share links. It does the expiring share links.
Yeah,
like we're limited like 4 clicks.
This is a great offsite backup device.
Does it work with their camera systems too?
You can back the
Even
camera
though it's not
system
the NVR, but it won't be the NVR.
Right,
model
it won't
like
be the NVR.
Okay,
but if you have the NVR, you can use this as a target to have an archive.
Sure, like if you already have the Dream Machine Pro or something that has the kind of NVR.
And you want to offload it. So the integration for that is really cool.
By the way, I just deployed Grafana on my Home Assistant because the data, I found out I only had 10 days. And I was like, no!
Yeah.
All my sweet, juicy humidity data and total volatile organic compounds data.
So all of us are installing, you have a different brand, but we're all installing those Gobi lights, and I'm definitely hooking mine to Home Assistant.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Gobi ones, but I'm partial to everything being Zigbee and Z-Wave instead of Wi-Fi, but I might consider them because they're cool.
And Bluetooth, they do BLE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do BLE.
I like BLE then. Yeah. If they do BLE, that is awesome. Zen Server 8.3, I think, no, they haven't fixed this. If you pass a USB through, it actually stops the backup from working.
Oh, wow.
Because it
can't snapshot or something?
Yeah, it can't snapshot because it looks as a storage device. And
I see what you mean.
A
USB storage device.
USB storage device.
Right.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I would expect that. It's basically a raw device mapping, and I would expect any raw device mapping to stop backups.
Yeah, I don't know how that's handled in some of the other hypervisors, but probably.
Yeah.
That Apple X serve RAID looks sweet.
Yeah.
Well played.
There's an entire small business market where this could be, right? Like, so increasingly we are going to serverless on site for clients.
Yeah.
If this supports, and I believe you said it does, if it supports Entra ID,
it does.
Then this would be great for on-site storage.
Entra,
yeah.
And Active Directory.
Yeah.
And Google, if you're a Google Cloud place,
sure.
you can tie it to the
it's
Google
a SAML for file share authentication.
Yeah,
or
and Jump Cloud was in there, which is popular in a lot of the MSP managed services space.
I'm not a fan of the Gobi. Android app seems sus.
Okay. You imply any of us would actually use the included Android app? And
No. Directly with our own Home Assistants or other things.
I have these little e-ink displays, and this is why I carry a second phone for them, because it's some side-loaded app.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That is shady. It gives you warnings when you load it that doesn't make me feel good.
Oh, Tech Ricky trying to send us off on a rabbit hole here. How's the hacking for SMBs coming along?
Well,
we haven't touched it since I was hacking.
Yeah,
we needed a break.
We got through the talk and just haven't done much yet.
I plan to go back to it.
That said, though, Cyberrise, our charity, does now have a home for it.
We do.
So we
owe. I met the CTO of Logically.
Oh, nice.
That's
of
fine.
a company.
No, we can say we're not going to talk about anything that was wrong with them. But I met the CTO of one of our targets or one of our potential targets. And we do owe him a report. He's asked a couple times now. So.
I bet he is, especially after the things they kind of were talking about. So
very
cool.
So the hacking,
our things.
For a little background, there was some hacking going on where we were examining the security of our peers, essentially, in the industry.
Well, do you have that meme handy, the Merck safe from?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So it's going. I mean, I actually gave a talk at the University of Toledo yesterday to cybersecurity graduate level class, and hinted at the fact that it's probably coming, and they were all excited. So,
well, and maybe that's something we could talk about that we didn't talk about before on the last time we were on. What we pivoted to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we never mentioned it. So
yeah. So one of the your call.
Yeah, we should probably do it. We'll do a whole video on it because if we do the video for what we did and then what they're doing, because what they did, what they're doing, might be kind of a cool video. Throw some comments in if you want to hear it. The too long, short version eventually is the idea was what is the security posture of a lot of the people that are in the same space as us. They wanted to examine that security posture and had some interesting findings, and there's a lot to be learned about it. There was a lot to be learned about the way the tools work that we hack things on. We found a really good use case for IPv6.
We did indeed.
Found a reason to use it.
Now I need IPv6 right now.
We got me not allowed to make a Linode account and having to back channel with friends to get myself a Linode account. That's the same guy. The guy that fixed the Linode account.
Oh, okay.
Is the guy for the potential UniFi project we're going to be doing. So.
Nice.
Yeah,
we'll get all that together eventually as a video. Just showed up for Tom saying he got a later date. Talk about the UniFi NVR and other YouTubers. So he had real thoughts. So all my friends got them first.
Okay.
And then I found out my friends got them, and then I was like, "Where's mine?" And
what the heck?
I think because I've dunked on a lot of their products, they're hesitant to let me be the first one to review it.
Does the case cover this hole?
Yes.
Yeah. And what's the Bluetooth functionality on this? Like, what
you can set it up from your phone. You have the UniFi app.
That's the purpose of it.
Okay.
That makes sense. I was like, you wouldn't have bandwidth to use it as a primary file use methodology.
There are some interesting design choices. Like there are connectors that are intended to be used to connect backplanes to motherboards.
Yes.
Like a SFF
Instead they want SATA cables
or whatever it is, and they show SATA cables.
Little 5-inch SATA cables or 3-inch SATA cables. Yeah.
Probably because they're using an off-the-shelf motherboard or an adoption of an off-the-shelf motherboard.
It's an ARM Cortex processor.
No,
so
it's not even
x86.
Yeah, why would you not?
Especially since they are using this connector for over here. Or I guess that's
they use one of those high density connectors for
the SFP and the 10 gig port. Yeah.
Yep.
I bet you that's a PCIe extender.
Maybe.
And that's just a PCIe.
Oh, that totally
X1.
makes sense. Yeah, that would totally make
PCIe
sense.
X1. Sorry, you guys can't see inside of it.
Yeah, we're not helping much.
Watch
looking
the
down.
review. I show all inside it. So
yeah, there you go. We're just baiting you to watch his review. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. I think I'm only. I don't remember all my friends' reviews, but I don't think I even took it apart like I did. I took it apart and just showed out all the parts inside.
All this too.
Did you get this out?
I didn't take it out though. No.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get it out, and it doesn't look easy.
These two here.
No.
That's front off.
It started to get a little tedious, and I said, I don't feel like
that'd be front off probably more than it is this out.
A little bit of YouTube news and check out. I think imagine a lot of you that follow me know who Wendell from Level 1 Texas.
Run Doom.
Yeah,
put the lid back on.
There's a couple of videos. One Wendell released on his channel with Steve from Gamers Nexus, and there's a Gamers Nexus channel. I've always known Wendell is quite the super nerd, but the tour of his office and all the crazy nerd things he has going on there, I'd recommend checking it out. So definitely one of those little recommendations I have for some videos.
Yeah, we have to figure out how to go. He's in Kentucky, right?
Yep.
He's down by Matt.
Yeah.
We should just go visit.
Man, he's built so many crazy things over the years. Like every time I've hung out Wendell, he's learned some weird new obscure thing. This time I learned he was the graphics producer for several different shows.
Okay.
I was like, he's got an IMDb profile. And I'm like, I always just knew him as a super nerd doing all these other crazy super nerd things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Wendell got a bug up his butt one day because KVMs weren't built properly to handle DisplayPort. So he engineered what is now one of the best KVMs on the market that he just built it. It included him buying a certifier, which I think cost him like $30,000 to certify cables. And then he went he's got a whole rant on
cables are terrible.
Yeah, of how cables don't follow standards.
None of them do.
He sounds like you, people not following standards.
Why are we not following standards? They're easy.
He goes through the RC and compares each cable. He's one of those.
Awesome.
He's a super nerd. He's a proper one of us.
Fair.
Yeah, I struggle with that with USB cables, especially USB-C.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here, this one connector to rule them all. Yeah, connector, not cable. Does
the power cable lock work on all cables or just the UniFi?
Yeah, where is your crazy expensive LTC screwdriver?
You know, I heard a rumor from someone at LTT who messaged me I was supposed to get one. I don't have one. So I may have to purchase it just so I can dunk on it. Because that way I can't say no one gave this to me. Actually, someone from LTT did reach out and said they were sending it a while ago. I just never got it. Yeah, their power cord is kind of got a little snappy thing.
That
I
makes
actually
sense.
like the snappy thing.
Yeah, locked power cord. You can't
Yep.
accidentally pull it out.
Yep.
Oh,
But it works only with their proprietary cord, I'm assuming, or the cord that came with it.
A knife
Or will it
make
lock in
work
a
with
normal?
any
That's fair.
cord.
You
Yeah.
just cut a groove into any cord.
The number of power cords. So it's a pet peeve of mine. Who is it? Who's the vendor? Oh, Netgate.
Oh yeah.
With the stupid
Barrel
what is that? A C17, I think it is. It's the 20 amp. It's a 20 amp.
Oh, it's got
Oh yeah. The 20 amp cord.
Connector, right? Like, but
for a low wattage
they're
device.
using a 20 amp connector with the 15 amp end on it, right? And the only reason they're doing it is because they're harder to get. They want you to use their proprietary cable, and I think that's crap.
Well, it's also a low wattage device.
Yeah, correct.
So I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like, this is not a high wattage device.
I like
so
the
it's
cloth
just-
cord.
I do
Nice
too.
touch.
What is it?
Yeah,
Knob and tube?
cloth. Yeah, it's like a...
I love knob and tube stuff.
Knob and Ubiquiti's going back there. We want that industrial fire starting design elements here. We're going knob and tube.
Most I want Ethernet cords made like that because that's how this one's tied in.
You can get them, the braided ones.
Yeah, I like the soft cord ones. I was
Yeah.
gonna grab another one over here, but no, I love the soft corded ones. They're just kind of cool.
And that sits flush too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a normal one will work. What I
Sure.
like is it's not proprietary.
That's an Apple thing. Like the cord that goes into the back of most of their device, like their display monitors, and that,
Sure.
they all have that ring
Flush
around it.
set,
So that
yeah.
100% came from somebody that used to
former
work at
Apple engineer, as somebody said in the comments earlier.
Ubiquiti is former Apple engineers.
Yeah.
So the original team in Ubiquiti are the people who produced remember the Wi-Fi
AirPod.
Extreme?
Yeah.
That were really popular. So when they nixed it, they went on their own and built UniFi. And UniFi is a company right now with a $20 billion market cap. So I think they did okay for.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah, because originally it was all just Atheros, Wi-Fi, wireless modules
There was very little
running
out there.
Linux. Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah.
There was nothing proprietary like most of the other access points on the market at the time. They were just Linux boxes running the Atheros cards in them.
Yep.
Got any extra screws?
Nope.
Winning.
Damn.
All right, you got all the screws out.
It's almost
Good.
like I know what I'm doing.
Maybe.
So yesterday we were testing a UPS at the office and it had bad batteries in it. And so I pulled the battery out of it. And then I went and got the shell of another UPS that also had bad batteries. And I'm like, I'm going to test these batteries. And we hooked it up in the jankiest way possible. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the office thought I was going to start a fire. I did not. And then I ran it through the multimeter so we could figure out what the current was. And then they very much thought we were going to start a fire.
That is
What?
somebody said that line in the background. James goes, damn, I thought Matt was somewhere else. That line in the background is trippy. Just this demarcation made it look like I was in a different place.
It's like here.
Anyway, sorry. It's squirrel. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get distracted easy.
Well, all of us just go around distracting each other. We should probably wrap it up soon because we got to go to.
No, it's
Okay.
Tara DM'd me.
We'll give it a few more minutes to get your questions in. If you,
I'll tell my worst UniFi story.
Oh,
It
sure.
was, it was back in the early cloud controller days when they hosted them. I think it was like 2017 or 18,
You
maybe
could always
something like
host them.
16.
They used to have their hosting.
Where they hosted it.
Yeah,
for
they
you.
had it for a while. Yeah.
And so we had Tim Bloom. I'll call him out. I still love him. But
Is that
Tim,
the guy from
from what? From what?
Connect that wasn't it Tim, the guy that we were talking to at the end outside?
No, different guy.
Okay, different
Yeah, yeah.
Tim. It is Tim,
Different
though,
Tim.
right?
Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Tim, but different Tim. So Tim Bloom restored one site in the controller, but the file restored over the whole controller, and the backups that were in that, because you could set it up to auto backup,
That's 100% how that would work.
were destroyed.
Yeah, that's
and
how that would
so we ended up having to
Yeah.
reach out. They didn't have support at the time either. That was back in the day.
Friends don't let friends use Mongo
It was bad.
because
was
I'm
bad.
pretty sure those backups and restores are just backing up and restoring the Mongo database that actually runs the thing on the back end.
Yep, one site restored over the entire controller. It was
Yeah.
glorious. Oh, you're taking that apart. Now I'm in.
Yep. I got a better screwdriver for that. Is that working?
It's working.
I think
Okay,
Jason
cool.
just likes using it from like 14 foot away.
This is as long as Tom. I haven't shaved this in a week, maybe two.
Oh,
That's it. It just stops right here. So
So that's not true. If you give it long enough, eventually it will get longer.
It just might have patches in it. You know what I mean?
But
Or holes,
eventually
but-
you grow enough that they cover the patches
Sure,
up. That's
sure.
that's essentially what
yeah,
happens.
I don't really shave, but every few weeks I trim just because one hair will get unusually long.
Yeah.
That's what triggers it. The one that grew to no, you're going back with the
You gotta
others,
go
bro.
back.
What triggers it for me is when it starts eating my mouth.
Yeah.
That seems like that'd be a bad time.
Problem is the lady that does my beard's been going up and up. Like it's like $70 now.
Wow.
Like to go see her to do my beard trim. I'm like, this
Like
is
the place that goes
ridiculous.
$10.
I understand, but I'm a little bit OCD, so I want to go back.
If I remember right, Chris Butcher was the guy who came up with monowall. Someone, do you remember him at all from the BSD days?
I remember the name. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's who they're talking about there.
I actually remember him posting, I think, on the FreeBSD mailing list.
Yeah. So yeah, he was at UniFi for a minute. He's bounced around. I think he was at Alta. He might be at Alta Labs right now.
Screw stripped.
He likes inventing new firewalls, I guess. He's kind of
But not actually
No-go.
inventing new firewalls. He likes just
packaging up.
putting new front ends in front of PF.
Yeah. I don't know what Alta's based on. Alta's got a firewall
or
coming
IP
up,
tables.
or IP tables.
Yeah.
So that didn't open that one up.
Well, I said it felt like one was stripped.
I know Jeff Geerling did a video where he tore it apart.
I watched that.
Yeah.
I like Jeff's videos, but I feel like he's too far down the hooking random PCIe devices to Raspberry Pi's rabbit hole at the moment.
It is a hobby of his.
It definitely is. I can
Yes.
tell. I think his last 7 videos have been about like, I hooked 17 graphics cards. I'm playing what, Crisis?
Yeah, he's got a
Crisis at a Raspberry Pi.
He's got a 4090 attached to a Raspberry Pi.
Awesome.
He's like, it's unsurprisingly CPU. Of course it is.
Yeah, I think.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh yeah.
Open all ports and wait.
Oh, that's
What's the
great.
best way to test your security for your lab? Open all ports and wait. Doesn't have to wait long.
Expose 3389 to the internet.
Some ransomware
Somebody
device
will come
protocol.
knocking.
Yeah, let's just get a honeypot going.
It was funny, actually. So I spun up a 2008 R2 server, for the lab I was doing and showing off. And it was funny because part of it was dumping the LSAS and then getting creds and then using the 08 R2 server as a base. I found it very hard to deliver a lot of things from an 08 R2 server to Windows 11 devices locally on the LAN. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, because 11 turns off like a bunch of the
WMIC, I think, was one of them.
unsigned,
Yeah.
SMB,
Yep.
and TLS 1.2 is the default.
Yeah, and
you
service
can't do
like
1.2
new
line.
phone, who dis?
Yeah.
And so we ended up having to pivot and use the actual local Windows 11 host we compromised. That's
Oh
the way to
man.
do it.
Yeah, the old protocols just aren't.
Yeah,
They're still in use somewhere, unfortunately. But
a
they
lot of
shouldn't be.
places. It was funny because I spun up a UniFi controller just for old time's sakes, right?
Log4j.
Yeah. It was a Log4j containing version.
Oh, anyone ask me OpenSense questions? Oddly, since I did my video of why I'm not using OpenSense, because I directed so many people there, they quit asking. I think all the OpenSense people hate me enough that they quit asking. I made a lot of people mad. There's like 100,000 views on that video.
Another just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
There's a lot of why, right? Like, are you using it just because you're counterculture? If so, just go install Gentoo and be done with it. I mean, let's take this to its logical conclusion.
Yeah. Just run Arch, by the way.
Yeah. No, Arch is too mainstream. You got to go Gentoo.
Gotta go Gen 2.
Everything's ports. You got to build world.
I gotta build. There's some Linux nerds out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netgate's pretty much like the last man standing when it comes to the open source firewalls right now, because everything that you get from OpenSense is downstream from the contributions to BSD.
Yep.
So Netgate pushes they have a bunch of developers on staff that keep the BSD world going, and because you were part of the BSD world, that's a contracting world right now. It's for better. I don't think BSD will go away. It'll just become a hobby project.
I mean, OpenBSD, NetBSD, and Dragonfly still exist. So clearly there is a market for somebody.
Slackware. Yeah, best Tom story ever is a client with an IP address for auth, like a trusted network.
Oh, this is great. So if you have a guest network, really you shouldn't be using IP authorization.
Nope, definitely not.
So they fired the employee. He got on the guest network by
Sure.
parking in a parking lot.
Yep.
Just had a great time.
Probably went to jail.
They didn't have two statics at least, that they could have one netted out the
they
other.
could
Places
never-
don't.
Yeah.
We knew what happened. We pretty much couldn't prove it, but it was like this is the most likely scenario because they're like, it's IP locked. How did someone get in here?
Using the IP.
Your parking lot, maybe?
Yeah.
Your guest network that attaches to the same.
We,
So it was deductive reasoning that brought me there.
Yeah.
So we had an employee quit a week ago Monday, and literally within an hour, the Wi-Fi passwords were all changed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just part of the stuff you're thinking. Not to mention IP authentication, which we had told them completely non-managed client, client that consults with us. We tell them what dumb they're doing. They decide which dumb they want to fix and which dumb they don't, and they carry on with their time.
Sure.
And
apparently authenticating instead of using their IP address.
Well, that caught up with them.
They learned on that one.
Yeah, and the
bold
lack
strategy.
And the lack of cameras or anything like that in the parking lot, they had no way to prove the person did it. It just didn't mean the most logical conclusion as to how someone got in, because all the ping was coming from inside the house. All the logs were their IP.
Address, probably. That's it.
All the logs were from their IP for every change that was made in AWS.
Oh, already mixed in with whatever other changes would have been happening.
All of them came from one IP address. Theirs.
To be fair, most authentication for AWS is IP based.
Yeah.
Right. So but that allows me to SSH. I still need a username, password, or key.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not.
Yeah. Okay. So Wi-Fi is a public network to keep it simple.
Yeah. Just people do dumb things.
BSD perimeter. I've heard of it. So fun fact, when I started at the ISP in 1997, we ran BSDI, which was the commercial version of BSD, and it predates both NetBSD and FreeBSD, and it was based off of BSD-/386. So,
yeah. I probably could have pointed you to that video you asked yesterday. You can set limiters. It's really easy to do in pfSense. And I explained it in more depth for how to set CODL queue limiters with to reduce buffer bloat. It's one of those things that people think you want the maximum speed. You want a little less than maximum to get better traffic control.
You want to reserve a little bit.
Yep.
Because QoS is about deciding what sucks when there's not enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you have enough, it doesn't matter. It's all about, so you need to reserve enough that you can have
something to throw around.
Yeah. I mean, if everyone's watched humans try to zipper merge during traffic,
well,
traffic management matters a lot.
I love that you separated humans from robots in that. Computers have no problem zipper merging. I watch drones do it all the time.
The Tesla is amazing at it.
Yeah.
I mean, a combination of I know exactly how big the car is. I know exactly how big that space is, and I can instantly accelerate.
Yeah, I have way more acceleration.
It will get into that hole.
Yeah.
It is amazing at zipper merging.
It kind of scared me the other day because it wanted to get over, and it decided to slip between two trucks.
Okay.
It made it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Like a glove.
There was a foot on either side, but it made it.
Yeah. There was some horn blowing going on, but not from the Tesla. From the human, they're going, hey.
I wonder what kind of bailout decisions it has. Let's say you're getting in that position and they brake hard in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Will it jump off?
Okay.
The old days.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. I don't remember that then.
Okay.
I do remember there was a bunch of stuff carried around in the FreeBSD build chain for a long time to be able to build pfSense monowall back in the day. To be able to build basically customized FreeBSD distributions, and I think that's finally gone out of the source tree. I think it's carried. Elsewhere now. So, speaking of buffer blow, we have the anti-buffer blow going on at a client.
Really?
They have a switch that has 48 1 gigs,
right?
And you know about this in 10 gigs.
Oh yeah.
So we have a lag going where we have, basically we've uplinked this 48 port 1 gig switch with 40 gigs. As it turns out, 16 megs of buffers isn't enough to do that. And it is dropping packets like crazy, and it is a terrible time.
Yeah, we're going to do a video on the project itself.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to catch up on my emails on Monday and see if we can mention the client or not. But either way, we'll do a video on the project for all the Zen servers you set up, the switches, the challenges with the switches. Because people ask me to do an fs.com review, but I can't really do a review of the switch until it's installed and we use it.
You can't do an fs.com.
You can't generate
review.
Enough. Yeah, you can't generate enough traffic.
FS doesn't
fake traffic.
They don't make anything. It's all just relabeled reference platforms.
Right.
So we bought two, right? We bought one of the cheap ones and then one of the nicer 8560s. The 8560s have a very Cisco iOS-like command line on them. They don't even have a web interface, right? Versus this crappy $300 48 port. You're in a bad spot when UniFi looks expensive.
Yeah.
As we opened our conversation with, right?
$499 trying to
highway robbery.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, this is a $300 switch that has 48 1 gigs and 410 gigs on it. I mean, that's like MikroTik level pricing.
Sure.
with worse
but
documentation.
it's got a terrible web UI. All of the documentation, I'm guessing it was written in Chinese and then translated to Japanese, then to German, and then to English. Like it's not even sentences.
It's just
And it's a piece of crap. And the
like
thing
fecus.
is that like when you buy FS stuff, like it tells you what chipset's in it, right? So it's like you buy a Realtek one, and it's just a Realtek reference platform. You buy a Broadcom one, it's a Broadcom reference platform. So like it's really hard to do good reviews on them because they're not the same.
Yeah.
You would have to review every single model.
Right. But that in itself is part of the why I'm not interested.
Jordan
in them as
Hubbard.
much.
Oh, that's another one. Jordan Hubbard, I definitely know from the FreeBSD mailing list.
So okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great idea to virtualize pfSense. We try to avoid it.
It works fine.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ChatGPT write me a new GUI for my Switch.
It couldn't do any worse.
I mean, honestly, I think they had ChatGPT write the documentation, but they trained the model with poorly translated things.
Azure self-hosted.
Tell me more.
Yeah, is this an extensibility of what they used to do, which was the private Azure instances where they drop off the big box and you know how they
Those are
private
cool.
enclave?
They're cool.
Is what you're asking about, Alex, something I may not be aware of? Is there a now model where you can do Azure self-hosted on your own hardware?
Or is
in that
this a
model?
stupid idea they released the other day?
Okay.
Did you? Microsoft reinvented thin clients.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
No,
Because was it
seriously.
Ignite yesterday, I'm
Yeah,
guessing? Azure
2
Arc.
days
Yeah,
ago.
gotcha. I talked about it.
Okay.
I'm not read in enough to know. I haven't dug into it enough.
Yeah.
for myself.
They used to have that. I
Yeah.
remember circa 2017 when they had all those
Yep.
cool edge boxes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were neat.
Yeah.
They were.
I haven't looked at it. Yeah.
So
okay,
just announced this week.
announced.
I haven't looked at
I
it.
haven't looked at it
The
yet.
hot patch sounds pretty dope, though. I'm sure they can't mess that up. I'm not allowed to say more than 2 anti-Microsoft conversations and going to give them
the thin client, like we're seeing this. Man, how many times have you seen this in your career? The move between centralized
back
and
and forth,
decentralized.
back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
There's some older guys that have seen
thin
it way more than
clients.
us.
It's
Yeah,
like,
the new rage. We're going to centralize compute and just give you a session window that you use to access
Like,
that.
my VT
Nobody's done that before.
Yeah, my VT100 called, and it's like this isn't a new idea.
Yeah,
Right. You know, there are times when I see some efficiencies in it. The problem usually comes into when there's a bunch of lock-in and someone goes, I can squeeze all the juice out of you by having you
Yeah.
locked into my platform. And everyone leaves the platform until we can come back in again.
It's more than that, right?
Yeah.
Like to a certain extent, it's a good thing. We're getting enough bandwidth now that it's more feasible than it ever has been, right?
Mhm.
But we'll find ways to use that bandwidth. Like that's,
Yeah.
I mean, AI, right? Like AI is going to make that very unfeasible, like long term. Centralized
cool.
power
It's
and all the
about-
other stuff that goes with it's awesome. So
Mhm.
Yeah, just talking about global secure access, the Entra private access and global internet access or private
Oh,
internet
cool.
access
Yeah.
from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Uh,
Alex
see
been
Alex.
around a minute. Yeah, I think Alex in the far side of Michigan, if I'm not mistaken.
so-
he's not the high from the thumb. We had a high from the thumb, and
Oh,
then
the
we
high from
had,
the
and then
thumb.
we had another guy and something that said he would see us tomorrow at
What does Win stand for?
meesecCON.
No, it's not Windows Internet Naming System. It means
Ooh.
Windows is not stable. Oh,
The
fair.
wins. The
Fair.
wins.
But that puts me
service.
at 2 in this stream. I can't say anything else negative now. That's the end of it, Bellick. Thanks. Appreciate you. You burned my contractual obligation there.
So the second
Jason
to bottom
Jenkins.
one, you need
Yeah,
to
now
highlight that.
now I'm out of my
Yeah,
bullets, and I
yeah.
have to
No,
sit
I
quiet.
got this
Okay, you
one.
got this one. You got it.
So I'm pretty sure that the way they name things at Microsoft is they have a bag full. It's like that ransom game with your refrigerator, right? They have a bag full of names, and you get a product, and you draw 3, and that's what your product is named.
Yeah. Entra, private. Oh, that's looking good. Access. Let's do instead of O365, we'll call it M365 because that'll distinguish easily.
And I think there's like a group of people that justify their existence. Like,
Just changing
we're
names.
like there's a group called We're the Renamers.
Yeah,
They knock on each department store. We're here for you today.
We're going to call it endpoint management for a while.
You know,
Then we'll eventually go back to endpoint.
We should all hassle Dave from Dave's Garage to talk about how they name things.
Yes. I've talked to him before. He likes my TrueNAS videos. I helped him set up his
Nice.
TrueNAS. So yes, I will message Dave because
Oh,
I just want
We demand a
that's the
video
truth.
on Microsoft naming things.
We want to know how this happens. I want
we
real
want the
reenactments.
we want the real Skunkworks information.
Yeah.
How do you guys name things?
Yeah. I want you to actually play it out for me. Can you guys do a whole sitcom on it?
AI
Yep.
should cut down on bandwidth. It's less Googling. Maybe. right? Like,
interesting approach to
It
that.
uses
statement.
a lot of bandwidth. It's just
Using it in
doesn't-
different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I generate so many stupid images.
Yeah.
I'm the reason they needed a nuclear reactor.
Unfortunately, Tom is like he could power a small village in Africa with his AI needs.
Well,
Yeah. I'm
it-
just memeing all day on
It's
there,
a real
man.
problem. Like I'm even like, hey Tom, need another dope meme, man. I got to get my fix this week.
Oh man,
Made
that
me like
bottom
5
one,
memes in the last 2 weeks.
Alec is triggering me
You
hardcore.
know about the Intel one or no?
No, the bottom one.
Azure AD is now. Oh yeah. Did you fix the bugs?
Oh.
No, but here's a new portal. Yeah, no
Oh,
doubt. Yeah.
Every time I learn to do something, they change
It
the portal.
moves. Yeah, 100%. And I demo stuff a lot. Like I'm
Yeah.
playing around in AADJ and other things in Entra a lot. And yeah, true story, Alec.
Well, I did find one if I can drag it in here.
Oh, playing the meme lookup game.
No, well, yeah, you guys are going to kick out of this because me and Matt this morning.
They
said- What if UniFi made air fryers? I mean, just,
UniFi air
they're making
fryer.
a little bit of everything, so why not make an air fryer?
Oh man, you should
This is
send
AI
that,
generated.
You should
That's
send that
awesome.
to the technology connections guy.
Well, that's what made me think of it.
Oh
too.
yeah, because he just did a post
He
on
just
that.
did
Was
an air
so
fryer
good
one.
too. He's like, it's just a fan and a heating element.
Yeah.
It's a stove with a fan.
Yeah.
Stove with
exactly.
a fan.
This is the new portal function.
Terraform it all. Yep.
No, use PowerShell. True story.
Oh, man.
Works out how to use it. They change everything.
Yeah.
No, use PowerShell.
Yeah, that is probably the secret. But there's so many commandlets. The worst is the compliance and litigation stuff. Every
At
time I'm
PowerShell
in
level, you
there.
mean?
Yeah. Well,
Or
even
just in
just
general?
using it,
Yeah.
they keep changing it. And the PowerShell piece of it's kind of.
Yeah, technology connections is
Yeah,
100%.
he's one of my.
That dude's my
he's
spirit
so-
animal.
Oh, I need
Yeah,
to
like,
meet him
yeah,
someday.
Yes.
100%.
He would be
Yes.
great to have a beer with, although I suspect maybe he doesn't drink.
Yeah.
I would
Uh,
bet that is a
yeah.
truism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so wound up in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's true. PowerShell for Windows, Ansible.
Why
for
not
Linux.
Ansible for Windows?
You can do Ansible. Yeah,
It works.
It does.
It works. We're starting to do the office right now has a they are nerding out over Ansible to configure network devices. They're super jacked up. They're trying to convince me and Tom they're trying to get him on team buy some Arista gear so that they can do Ansible with it. And I'm like, we have Cisco gear that does Ansible.
Oh,
just
people
fine.
are just trying to pull straight triggers out of the audience here.
And you can Ansible.
Oh.
We have other
Not touching it.
This old man yells at cloud. What
Oh.
are you doing?
I will yell about this later on a video.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna
had a
pause
whole-
this
We
conversation.
had a whole conversation
This
about
is
that.
a car ride over,
Me,
actually.
So the Beard IT Dad does career talks about what certs you should get. So
Sure.
he's a friend of mine. Me and him are going to do a video and
Oh,
rant
cool.
about CompTIA. So
Okay.
that way you guys are.
Well,
it's not the side of CompTIA you're deal with anyways. So
yeah, actually, I yes.
Well,
There's a
yes.
political reason. I'll just say yes,
Yes.
right now. We'll leave that at that point.
Ah. Yeah,
I'm waiting.
I will message you when I get back. And yes, we've been chatting back and forth on Discord.
Yeah. Old man yell at Nextcloud.
Oh, dude, Nextcloud. Old man yells at Nextcloud is a good video because people keep asking me to do
Oh, yeah.
Nextcloud videos
Yeah.
because every time they update it, it explodes. And I'm just like,
You've
yeah.
done and then God, I feel like someday we should do this, a vlog or a Saturday evening
Oh,
we've been
makes-
drinking thing,
Yes.
and we just pull some of the HubSpot inbound stuff and we anonymize it
Yeah.
and we just roast it. I feel like that's probably not good for your long-term viewership, but I kind of want to do it.
We could just talk about, just in general, we can talk about crazy things people have either asked us to do.
The number of it's like I was running Nextcloud on 3-layer deep nested stuff and didn't bother to expose the file systems, and then it rebooted and now all my data's gone. Can you recover it?
Yeah.
Probably.
I recovered that one guy's contacts out of a database by tricking Kubernetes into thinking it was up and running. That was
Yes.
a weird thing, but the guy was
Probably,
happy I
like-
saved his data.
Don't do that. Like, don't do dumb things.
You know my best thing? That guy, he worked at Red Hat.
Of
He
course,
says-
Oh, really?
of
says-
course he did.
He says, I really know better than to do any of this.
That's awesome. Hey, that's at least honesty. That's at least
It
honesty.
was how the conversation started. I was
mean,
able to get his data.
I've said that on your live stream. I think I said it the other day when we were on the Sunday. I told you I may occasionally just drop into those if you're going to continue doing them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do them a lot more in the winter. So
The-
next clown. I like
That's
that.
good. Yeah.
if you're running a home lab and you don't have a really good reason, like you're trying to learn it, just don't run Kubernetes. Just don't.
Right.
Just don't.
It's like it's a chaos layer, right? It is an unavailability layer you are adding to your stack because it will eventually break and you will not know how to fix it.
Yes, it's not high availability. It's a highly unavailable layer.
Yeah.
The guy at Microsoft Store said my wife broke my email. So he's using IMAP with network solutions. Oh, nice.
Oh, I've come across that a lot.
Two separate
Bottom one.
domains on the same.
Yeah. I've come
Oh,
across
God
that.
bless. The bottom one, yeah. I've
Yeah,
seen
I've
that.
come
That's
across
always
that.
fun.
We've got
We'll
one
just
right
turn
now.
off DHCP on this one scope. And then...
We've got a client that went and just made a domain up, and it's a domain that's registered, and it's their AE domain. And as you can imagine, that causes no
Oh,
problems.
a .com, a .com.
Oh yeah,
a
.com.
public TLD.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
a like
Sure.
direction.com kind of
Oh,
thing,
great.
right? And
Yeah.
because of course it makes sense they would own that. They don't.
Makes DNS management simple.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
super great when
You get instant updates internally because
Yeah.
you can just change it. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait on that pesky DNS
And-
public domain
and
name stuff.
whoever owns that domain has a wild card.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
wild
even
card A
better.
record.
Even better.
So
Oh.
suddenly things can't talk to the domain because they got public DNS somehow, and now they think
agree
everything
with
for the
that.
domain goes to that IP.
On that, Kube is just complicated. Just use Docker if you had to.
Yeah, use Docker, use Swarm. I mean,
Yeah,
Swarm
sure.
is a lot more maintainable. Kubernetes is a
But it has
great
Kube
solution.
control.
Yeah,
It's a great solution for the right problem.
yes,
Your home
correct.
lab's probably
Yes.
not that problem.
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
not that problem. Like you,
I
don't need the
Blame
things it has.
YouTubers because so many of them always like Kubernetes. There might be one really popular YouTuber that yelled, "You need to learn Kubernetes right now" at the beginning of his video with 20 jump cuts.
Okay.
Oh.
Hi, Chuck.
I figured you were saying network Chuck there. I figured that
Like,
might be who
he's
you
a
were
nice
saying.
guy. I
You
do
know,
like
Chuck's
that.
an MSP geek. Did you know he's on MSP geek?
I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Uh,
He's a really nice guy in person.
yeah.
But there's no way not to joke about him.
I too have like a Raspberry Pi Kubernetes cluster because it seemed fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but it's not practical and it breaks all the time.
Oh, everything was static in that environment. They're like, make sure you set the
Yeah.
right domain controller on that machine. It needs to go to this one for that domain.
Well, that's another pet peeve of mine. Like everything needs to be DHCP people.
Oh,
Like I static my infrastructure.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
yeah.
that.
And at very specific places that I want to remember
Well,
where they all are. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it bites you because we use Auvik, right? And Auvik does discoverability. And so somebody will have UniFi is the worst about this, right? So somebody will have a bunch of UniFi switches set to DHCP. They reboot and they get new IPs, and then Auvik doesn't realize that
Sees that they moved around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
right.
else sets up on that IP, and then
Yeah.
something else goes down, and then it's alerting that the switch is down, but the switch is
I've
moved.
played that football game before.
Yeah, so you got to static that stuff.
the way I do it is
Static
You can do
Reservation,
static
probably.
and then put a reservation in so that nothing else takes it.
Yep.
Yep,
It's
that's
all
fine.
static
That's
reservation.
fair.
I also want everything in order. There's something about
That's
that
fair.
that makes me happy.
Nope, I definitely do the same thing. But see,
Yeah,
I would call you a monster because I would start at 65 because that's a nice boundary and a power of 2. Right?
Of course you would. Of course you would. I would not give him any crap over that.
Yeah.
Although I had the
What's
crazy-
with 104 down or 134 down there?
this is a testing
what
device.
hurt you?
It's a testing device.
What
It's
hurt
not static. Yeah.
What
We've
bad
got
fell
60
upon
through
you?
68 and 134.
When things aren't part of my when I'm just testing it, it can get a different number.
Sure.
But then I'll if it's something I keep in my network, it'll fall in line with
Oh,
the others.
Kubernetes is a black hole of YAML and despair.
It's not. I mean, that's not even my problem with it. The YAML's not that bad to write, right? Like operationally using Kubernetes isn't that hard. Administering Kubernetes isn't that hard until it breaks.
Sure.
Yep, that's correct.
I've been blessed. I've not done much with Kubernetes, like labs and stuff.
It's always the networking,
but
right? It's
not-
so at the office, you probably aren't aware of
Matthew's
this
out.
yet, but they are in the process of migrating some of the XCP&G stuff they're playing with the Proxmox because they've decided it's easier. I told them, okay, I mean, you can do that, but like Tom and I know XCP&G better at this point because I'm totally comfortable after that big project we
Yeah.
did. So you guys own the parts if it breaks. And he's like, well, when's it break? I'm like, last time I upgraded mine at home, it broke. He's like, well, how does it break? I'm like, the networking breaks and Godspeed.
Yeah.
It's all a bunch of OVS switch and a bunch of other crap under the hood. And when it falls apart, it falls apart.
Yeah. And because the way Proxmox works, it's a pet, not cattle.
Yeah.
There's some effort going into customizing each one of the nodes, and like the project we're going to do and the project we're going to do next. So how many nodes were in the project one with the data center
one
problem?
we just did 4.
Yeah. And then
the other one where I just asked those guys to rack it in leadership today, that's 16.
16 nodes. Like you don't want to have to set up 16 nodes. You want to adopt and bring them all in
They're
each host.
super micro big twins. So each 2U box has 4 nodes in it.
Oh,
Yep.
nice. Yeah. Nice.
They're really cool.
They're really cool. They require 208 volt power, so I got to rack them in the basement because I don't have 208 volt power on my bench upstairs.
Yeah. So I had a really weird problem the other day, and I spent I feel like an idiot because I spent about half an hour in PFSense, which is way longer than I usually have to spend troubleshooting. My upload speed, my download speed was about 800, but my upload speed
of a gig,
was
I'm
about
assuming?
2. Yeah, I got a gig here.
Yeah.
So with the limiters, it comes to about 800 on average.
Yep.
And I got 50 up. And if I plug in raw bypassing PFSense, it works.
No problem. But
no problem.
PFSense 50 meg up limit on the outbound.
But then when I hook it all up, once it goes through PFSense, it kept getting 2 up. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I'm messing with it. That came to a weird conclusion after playing with everything in PFSense. Once I plugged directly into PFSense and bypassed the UniFi switches,
no problem.
I got 50 up.
But did you get 100 meg?
So my computer's connected at 10 gig. So I have a aggregation switch at 10 gig.
Yeah.
It then goes down to 1 gig. Turns out the 1 gig DAC had a bad transmit receive. So it downloaded no problem at full
the other
speed.
direction.
Other
So
direction.
it's a physical DAC failure problem?
I had a DAC failure that connects, but it just wouldn't let me upload any more than 2.
Okay.
If you did like iPerf testing, it would just fill with errors. Retry errors
so
constantly.
basically, so
bad
you're
DAC cable.
getting- Interesting.
I've never had one go bad.
Speaking of which, can we
say I
talk
have
about the shit show that is the 8300 and the 1 gig
Yeah.
SFPs?
This is dumb.
Yeah. So the Netgear 8300, it's a cool device. I love it, but they made this decision. It's got 3 copper ports on it, and everything else is SFPs.
Okay.
Right. So it's got 4 SFPs and 4 SFP pluses.
That thing's gonna be warm.
And I tried 4 different brands of SFPs in it, right? And this is ICE, right? It's the Intel controller for Ethernet, right? So this is a generic device. That's actually right there. Those are the devices.
These are physically
the actual
actually
devices that I was testing this with.
Yeah.
So I tried 4 different brands of SFPs and none of them would work in it. And so I emailed Netgate and they're like, oh, there's no limitation on it. Well, first they told me I had to use approved Intel.
Was there a software flag or something?
No.
Or no, just straight up hardware,
You
non-negotiate.
would get link.
Okay.
They would transmit packets and they would receive nothing.
Yeah.
It was the oddest thing. So I finally did find SFPs that work in them. But why?
Yeah.
My big question is, what use case do you have where you need 3 copper ports and 8 SFPs?
Yeah.
What use case do you have that you need 1 gig SFPs?
Right. Sure.
At all, right?
Oh, they're not
Like-
even SF. Oh, there are.
Well,
SFP
the right
pluses.
ones are SFP
Okay.
plus, right?
But
so
half
there's 4
SFP.
SFPs and
Why
4
not just
SFP
copper?
plus, right? Like,
Yeah.
why not just do 4 Ethernet ports?
Yeah,
But
there?
you have the P8, P9, and P10. What were those occupied by?
So the client doesn't have. The client has 5 separate physical networks. So
Oh.
I need them.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So like I need more than they have. Right. So the 1 gig ports, right? And actually, on the 8300 in the basement, these
Yeah.
are swapped. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
good
sure. I'm pretty
call,
sure the 10 gigs are over here and the 1 gigs
Just
are
make
over
all
here
of them
and the
SFP
one that you had.
pluses.
That's weird.
That is strange.
What is it?
Well, we have an 8300 at the office, which is pre-release.
Yeah, it's a pre-release one because the labeling is different too.
Yeah, scroll up. Okay. Maybe that I thought that was silk screened WAN on there. Maybe it's just in software where it said WAN. Or maybe Eric jacked it up. That's possible too.
Maybe Eric messed up because these don't say it at all.
They don't. But if I need a 1 gig, I can plug into that SFP plus port, right? That 100% supports a SFP.
Yeah.
I can't see a world where I need 8 fiber transceivers in this firewall. I just can't. I don't get it.
Yeah, just a weird problem we ran into with it. But those are the weird problems that, like, the rest of the project, the proxy, the load balancer, everything else you guys was like
Well, no, I
Well-
mean that switch was a giant nightmare too because
Yeah.
their 1 gig load balancer, which we then replaced with HA proxy, and now everything is amazing.
And like Alex said here, the and I did some upgrades from a 2183. The
I just did
works.
it at home using the unsuggested way, where I manually edited the Yum repos and updated it,
And it
it
still
worked
works.
fine. Worked
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
It is crazy how like their upgrades are just. I
Yeah.
don't brace for impact. I upgrade, hit reboot. Life's good. They do such a. This is something where there's a big difference between Proxmox. Again, Proxmox has their repositories and the Debian ones coming in.
Yeah.
The way XCP&G handles it, it is Vates. The only repositories turned on are Vates. Every update comes through Vates. They're rolling their own everything, and that's the way
It's
to do
basically
it.
a forked OS.
Yeah.
It's not just like Debian with crap layered on top of it.
Yep. That's one of the reasons people think it's CentOS. I'm like, it says that, but it's not. They actually hired a big dev team now that's maintaining it. So it's not even that anymore.
I mean, it like you can do all of that with just Kickstart scripts, right? Essentially, there's a ton of ways to do that, but the thing is that they are maintaining their own fork of the OS.
Yes,
it is not
that's-
just layered on top of the community.
Does that just mean they're probably pulling from the actual repos?
Oh, yeah,
and
they
then
are.
approving them
But
and moving them into their system?
100%,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But
Yeah,
they're testing them,
curating
checking
it,
them,
right?
curating
Like,
them,
so
yeah.
the downside is if you and if you're behind in pulling a security update, you may not get it right away.
Potentially.
But the upside of that is they very much trimmed it down so you don't have a bunch of extra attack surface lying around because they've only pulled in what they absolutely need. Like there is, when I log into those hosts, I get mad because half the commands I expect to be there just don't exist. And that's really
There's a lot
annoying.
missing.
But I understand why. It's an appliance. It's not a general purpose OS with a web interface on it.
It's, building an OS with principal of least privilege. We only put the things that need to do what it's supposed to do. That's it.
When I build systems, this drives the people in the office crazy. So I'll either do CentOS or Ubuntu server. I run minimum. I run minimal, like literally
manually
nothing.
add everything you need as a dependency. Yeah.
I mean, the package manager handles it.
It's better than flogging yourself as you walk down the street, So that's nice.
If I need OpenSSH and it requires OpenSSL, it'll pull it in, right?
Fair.
It's like you don't have to specify everything. You just specify the packages you want. You have to be careful to accidentally not pull X in. Which is stupidly easy to do for dumb reasons. It's like I'm installing PHP. I probably don't need X. Right, but it depends on some graphics library that unless you sacrifice.
But I installed the calculator and it loaded the whole desktop OS now.
It's Image Magic. I installed Image Magic and now I have X. It's like I don't want X. I just want Image Magic.
In-wall APs with powerline backhaul, smart switch, room controller. No, powerline being the power line, the ones where they run it through the 60 hertz power. Is that what they mean or no? Am I misunderstanding?
In-wall APs with powerline backhaul. The powerline backhaul is still not great.
Well, and there's a ton of caveats there.
But am I understanding this? Powerline meaning my 60 hertz wall power.
100%,
those were around like the 90s or early 2000s.
They still exist today. Not any better.
Okay, I imagine not.
Maybe a little bit better.
There's a bunch of caveats with them, right? So your house has 2 phases in it, almost certainly, right? Or 2 lines. It won't bridge them.
Yeah,
it will not go between them.
Yeah,
unless you put a capacitor of some sort between the two. There's a capacitor kit you can install to fix that. I don't know why.
Yeah,
why?
You have to imagine wireless backhaul would be a better methodology.
Yeah.
I mean, is the
mesh
building
backhaul or something?
The only place I find them okay, because it's usually very few circuits, is people stuck in apartments where they can't make modifications.
Just make modifications anyways.
But even then, in the same breath, I think mesh systems for the most part
are
pretty good.
Yeah.
Those are
better than a power line, I would think.
Unless you're in an old apartment and it's plaster with the chicken cage.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and then it's like your own
Faraday cage. You live in a Faraday cage.
You're in your own Faraday cage. Yeah.
But here's a hint. Find a phone line on the wall. You're probably not using a phone. Pull it off. I bet you there's a phone line on the wall behind it. And now you have a hole. No, now you have a hole.
You got a hole. Okay.
Just go through the hole. And then go down to the cart. Man,
You've got a neat pull cable.
I could teach a whole class on how to run Ethernet through an apartment because I did it. Like if you go along the carpet to the baseboards, you can push it under the baseboards.
Yep.
Totally.
That thin cable fits right under the baseboard.
Yep.
It works so good for
consumer
running
unit devices for 3-phase with power line.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Wow.
I guess I have not gone down the path of exploring power line
hate
in 10
yourself?
years or 15 years.
Oh man.
Nala for my Ubuntu installs makes
I increasingly just have Ansible playbooks for
how you do
things
that.
I install it. Yeah. Get a new laptop, just run this Ansible script and
Yep.
all the shit I want installed.
Yeah, just having.
But not opposed to the in-wall APs.
No, I'm not
I'm not opposed to
terribly-
those. I'm only the backhaul of Powerline. I don't know if y'all have a differing opinion.
Yeah, no power line backhaul. The in-wall APs are okay if you understand the caveats that they create. Like they're the God, radio nerd. Polarization matters. It is a thing, and it's wrong usually if you're like the antenna is the wrong way, which is probably not a big deal in most cases.
Yeah. Ansible is solid. You know, Jay from Learn Linux TV, he's got my favorite Ansible installer. When he sets a computer up, what he names the host, the prefix of it,
tells the Ansible script what to do with it,
yeah,
and then
it builds
changes it afterwards.
Yeah, so he has
Yeah, yeah.
one massive Ansible script that
yeah.
does everything.
So he calls it AD or not AD. And
Yeah.
At Authentic Response, I had that like basically the host name would dictate what puppet role is going to apply to it.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
just-
actually, the page works that way.
Yeah, it's a smart way to do it. It's simplistic. I name it server dash whatever
Yeah,
it's serving, and
I agree.
it just
Mocha
builds.
is better than Powerline.
I'm not familiar with Mocha.
Mocha is the Ethernet over cable.
Oh, totally. I can see that.
yeah.
I mean, coax is shielded.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
designed to carry data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It can
There's
handle
not
the
something.
frequencies.
Remember the cloth wire we saw the other day?
Yeah.
Hook up the power line. The cloth wire will take care of it. Where was that? It was in an attic somewhere. I don't
It was
know.
it was at the Island House, which is now empty, by the way.
Oh, good. Really?
Finally
Awesome.
empty. Yeah.
Didn't go with the fire option. It sounds.
Did not. Although there is one table saw left in it because the garage door broke at some point, and the table saw won't fit through the side door.
All right,
So
fair.
that's all that's left. Okay, what else we got?
It's 6 o'clock. How much longer are we going?
Oh, we probably
we
wrap
gotta,
if
we
you
gotta
want.
get to
Okay.
dinner.
Yeah,
We
I
got
see. We got to drive out.
Oh, we have a stop to make too.
That's why.
You have a milestone coming up, which is vlog number 420.
Yes,
That is true.
Yes,
Might have to fly back. It's only like
Yeah.
6 weeks from now, right? Or
Yeah.
something.
however many weeks.
9
it
weeks
is.
from now.
9 weeks. 9 weeks from now.
We'll go Joe Rogan on the 420
what
show.
date is that?
We will do something. We will do something special for the 420 show for sure.
That would be awesome.
I don't know what we'll do. We will be childish though. That's for sure.
Yes, we will.
Accurate.
Yeah. Oh, I just said that because I know you wanted to make a stop, and we got to head out there. And we're meeting one more of our employees. So yeah, 420 show early next year. That's true.
I wonder if it'll be a Code Mash.
Oh,
What? Look.
is that week? That would be so perfect.
Are you gonna come?
I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you buy a ticket?
I haven't yet.
You should do that.
Okay.
I don't know. What's the date for
John
Code Mash?
volunteered. So
Okay. Did he get accepted?
I don't know. Hasn't heard anything.
Okay. I'll find that.
Check
out.
on that for me.
January. That is next.
Oh, we
month,
missed
yeah.
Vlog. Oh, that's great,
Yeah.
Allison.
We'll figure it
I
out.
love you so much. I
And
missed
this-
Vlog 404. Get it?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
didn't
I didn't
receive
do
it.
anything too fun for that, but so. All right,
Sorry.
I'll just wind it down there. We'll figure out when 420 is. And
Just do 9 weeks from now into Google. 9 weeks from today.
today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it's in January.
Yeah.
That's the end of
9,
January.
23rd.
It's the week after Code Mash.
Oh, sad clown.
Yep.
Yeah, sad call.
So week
What about
after.
Are you coming out
520?
from Code Mash?
Yeah, I'll go to Kobash.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna be at a
I
Microsoft
think we
event
have an
there.
extra ticket.
Private engineering English thing.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you everyone for joining. Awesome having all of you here. And we're gonna go off, do some hacking, and we'll follow up with videos. And they got a hacking video we'll have to get out at some point.
We do
And,
have to do the hacking and do that
yeah.
talk live for sure.
And I'll talk next Thursday about whether or not, well, after we win.
Too bad I won't
I'll
remember it.
be impressive. After we win, I'll tell you about how we won. And
Yeah,
we'll,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We should do that. We should record a walkthrough.
Yeah.
of the
We can
show.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
fun. Just do it as we go.
That'd be
Cool.
fun. Well, there's another time. All
Okay.
right. Later, everyone.
Peace. See ya.